Hey everybody, it's Taylor here today, and I'm excited to walk you through one of our new holiday stamp sets and how I made these 3 cards. So I used the Let Us Adore Him stamp, and you can see that the leaves and the words are actually separate on this stamp. So that's how I got the color variation. And you will need a MISTI to set those up, so that's what I'm going to walk you through. I also wanted to show you this stepped up version. So if you wanted to do something with a little more pizzazz, you could emboss the words, and I also embossed the background stamp on that. So let's get started with our stamp set. This is Let Us Adore Him, and you can see there's the trees and the words that are separate. There's also a small manger that you can fit in the bottom. You can see those are made from our deeply etched red rubber, and I'm going to actually also use the manger die. This is our Little Bits manger, and instead of using the stamp, I'm going to use the die for these cards. So I'm going to start by setting up the tree in my MISTI. You can see I have that just on the clear cover there, and I'm putting that down onto grid paper. I also have several ovals that I cut and a template cut from cardstock of a different color. I like to cut something out of a different color because it's easier to see exactly where you want to place that oval. So I've placed it over the top of my stamped image, and I'm taping it down, making sure that I left enough space along the bottom for the manger and then a little bit of space up at the top for a star on top of the tree. So I'm just going to take those out and continue stamping. I'm doing 4 cards, but you could of course do as many as you would like. You want to do all of your cards with this step before you take your tree off and set up your next stamp. So there you see I have all 4 of those trees. I've done 2 different colors of ink on those. And now we're going to take another MISTI and set up the words that say, "Oh come, let us adore him." On this MISTI, I have a piece of transparency, and I've just stuck down the stamp to my clear cover, and I'm placing that down over the top of the transparency, so you can see it stamped there on the piece of transparency. Then I'm taking another template and fitting in the tree inside that template, and I'm just going to kind of shimmy that around until I get it in just the right spot. Just shift it until the words are exactly within the tree stamp. And then I'm going to take my tape and tape around the outside of that template. I like to leave the bottom open so that I can just slip out the next one after I've stamped it. It makes it easy to get that piece out of your template. So now I'm going to use Cherry Pop ink and ink up that stamp and place it down, and you can see it's just perfect inside there. So then I can slip it out the bottom and continue stamping. I have 3 additional panels. I'm using, as I said, the Cherry Pop ink. And in a minute here, I'm also going to be using our mulled wine ink. So I paired up mulled wine with sweet basil and then Cherry Pop with our new cilantro ink. So when all 4 of those are finished, we're going to start our next step, which includes these manger die cuts. So something that I like to do when I have small pieces like this is cut out several from the same color cardstock. In this case, I used buttercream. And then I like to color those die cuts with Copic marker. And that really speeds the process along for me rather than die cutting out of several different colors of cardstock. I'm using Y26 here to color the stars and the hay. Then I have E55 that I'm going to use to color the actual manger. You could also shade these if you wanted to bring in an E57 and add a little bit of extra. And then last, I'm going to use 2 different colors of red, R59 and R29. So I've chosen those 2 different reds to match the red of the letters that I stamped before. So now I have my Nuvo glue, and I'm adding little dots of that glue where I want it. I have some embelly jelly that you can see that I'm using to just pick up those small stars and place them over my dots of glue that I laid down. And this process takes a little bit of time with the dies, but I really love the look of that, and the Nuvo glue makes it really easy because it's a nice fine detailed tip. So you can see I have all 4 of those done now, and I'll bring my finished cards back in so you can see how those turned out. I did distress the edges of the ovals, and I also added the twiggy background around the outside. You can emboss that or you can stamp it tone on tone. I also added a petite scalloped oval to that version so you can see both of the options for something more simple and something more stepped up. So you can find all of the products that I used today at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.